All right. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the ITHRIVED podcast. It's your boy, Sundin Esperance. Today, I got my brother all the way from Jersey, Mark Marinnie. We're going to be touching on, some good food today, some good information for you, before I just go into it, Brother Mark, present yourself and tell the people what you're doing, what you're about.
All right. So I'm like my brother just mentioned, my name is Mark Marinnie. I'm here in the States, United States, Trenton, New Jersey. And so I'm a financial coach. What I do is I focus on the middle class people. They say, I put my little hands up. They say that the middle class is $30,000 a year to $100,000 a year. So that's what they consider to be middle class. That's household income. So I focus on that particular demographic because those are the ones that don't have the financial education. You have your low class of people, you have your middle class, and you have your upper class. So the majority of the people fall in the middle class. So that's my passion of helping people that don't have access to financial education.
And in terms of financial literacy, because it's obviously something that's not educated in the schools, and it hasn't been in the schools for years. Explain to us, why are you so passionate about financial literacy, and why is it important for the people to know about it?
So I'm so passionate because when it comes to financial literacy, I've ran into people that have master degrees, make a lot of money, but have absolutely no idea about financial literacy.
That's crazy.
So, and then you can run into someone that's making maybe 30, 35, 40 grand a year. And with financial education, they can do much better in the long term than an individual that's making $100,000 a year because of their knowledge of how money works. Because see, the thing about it is this: everything comes with instructions. You buy a laptop, you buy a vehicle, you buy things in your house, everything comes with instructions. Our money don't come with instructions. That's something that we just have to learn on a whim. So if no one is educating us, man, I'm telling you, it is terrible when you see the future, especially for my generation, or should I say our generation. It's going to be a lot of suicides that's going to take place as a result of people not being prepared when it comes to finances. It's terrible, bro.
So when you say suicide, because that's serious, right? That's not a joke. When you say suicide, why suicide? Why not even say they're just going to go through a lot? Why specifically suicide?
Well, with this generation of people, we can't handle pressure. And that's really the truth, though. We can't handle pressure. So just think back during the Great Depression. A lot of people lost a lot of money. During that time, a lot of people that had, their retirements were completely wiped out. Wow. They were jumping off bridges. They were killing themselves, shooting themselves. Yeah. And it came as a result of financial stuff. Yeah. Imagine now you getting ready to retire and you thinking you have this amount, and now you get to retirement and you have nothing.
That's crazy. So pretty much because obviously the generations ahead of us, like the dads, they were working, 2, 3, sometimes probably 4 jobs, and plus they had to raise a family and all this and that. So there was a lot of pressure, but, most of them, they were built to being able to kind of handle it, even if they weren't financially literate. But what you're saying is that this generation, our generation, who cannot handle pressure, like, they lose $1, they go crazy. They can't handle pressure. Right. So because they can't handle it, suicide is the best thing for them, pretty much.
Right. And again, this is not everybody, but I'm just saying,
like in general, most.
General, you have people that's committing suicide because their girlfriend left them.
Exactly.
I know of cases like that where people, their girlfriend cheated on them and left them, and they thought, look, I can't handle depression, killed themselves.
That's crazy. That's absolutely.
Yeah, and again, this is not everybody, but guarantee you, when this thing hit and people start getting in the quote unquote retirement age, and hopefully we could talk a little bit about that during the podcast. But when people get to that particular age and now they say, man, I don't have nothing.
Yeah.
It's bad, man. It's bad. So this is why I'm so passionate. If I can get to as many people as possible to educate them. Pastor Geno Jennings often say people would do better if they knew better.
If they knew better, exactly. So you're just trying to be a voice to help those people be able to do better.
Exactly.
Pretty much. Proper. So now in terms of, because I definitely do want to talk about retirement. These are just things, these are conversations that is avoided. I've noticed it growing up, you know what I'm saying? The conversation that was mostly around as a kid hearing is, I don't have enough money. We can't afford it. Or it's like they have to think really hard for something that's not even that expensive, you know,
That's
or
true.
have to sacrifice like a leg, you know what I'm saying, just to put, just so, you know what I mean? That's what I
Right.
was used to growing up upon. Whereas there's others out there, it's a whole different story. You know, you could just have a general they could be having a conversation, say, yeah, you know, like, man, my dad, like, he was just having a tough time. He just couldn't give me the $20,000, and I just didn't. $20,000, like, that's conversations. Like,
That's right.
if I ask for like $5-10 pizza, my parents gonna go crazy.
That's
You know,
right. That's
so
so true.
it's
So
a difference.
true.
So like retirement, you know, I really do want to touch base on that for retirement, absolutely, because it's a part of financial literacy. I know
Right.
of people that are like 70 still have to work, not because they're doing it for the fun of it, literally to pay bills, to survive.
That's right.
You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? So, you know, before touching on that, explain to us like the experiences you've had with people. Maybe you've met people with money. You know what I'm saying? They probably had a lot of money but no financial literacy. What were your experiences with that?
Wow. Where do I start at, man? See the thing about school, and again, I want to make it clear, I'm not against school. I love education. I think education is powerful when it's used the right way.
Yeah.
But in school, they purposely get away from teaching us financial education. Because see, this is the thing. We're during this pandemic, people are not spending a lot of money now. So if you notice, the economy is down.
Yep.
The economy is down because people are not spending money. So when the economy is up, people are spending money. So if I teach you financial education in school, which it should be taught, we were taught language and calculus, and I was on a Zoom call on Saturday with some brothers, and we were talking about business and things of that nature. And I said to them, how many of you guys use calculus? And I believe one of the brothers said, well, some people use it if you work in a particular field, but that's not everybody though.
Yeah.
You know, that's just maybe if I'm going to school for a certain thing, but why would you teach me calculus, something that I don't use every day?
Yeah. Yeah.
But money, something that we use every
Every
single
day.
day, we're not taught about it. And it's purposely done like that. This is why when the individual turned 18, now you see credit cards come their way.
Yeah.
They have no knowledge about money but
Nothing.
credit cards. So now I see a credit card for $1,000. I'm like, oh, I got money. And you start racking it up. Next thing you know, you're in debt at 18.
Yeah.
And now if you talk to most adults, it's take them years to pay off that debt, because guaranteed you use $1,000 in credit, you're gonna pay back like $2,000, $3,000.
Exactly.
You know, so we're not taught financial education in school. So it's like, man, like, wow. So when I run into people that have a lot of money, they may have a lot of money, but the more money they have, the more bills they have.
Yeah.
So it's not like they have money and they're doing something with the money. Most people, if I'm making a 6-figure income, I'm probably gonna have a nice car or two.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna live in a big house or something like that. So whether a person make a lot of money or not, it's still, if you don't have any financial education, you still can make wrong decisions with your money.
Okay. And so, I mean, something when you said about, obviously it's not purposely taught, because I never even saw it in that way, in that manner. It's why is it the thing that we're using, the teachers themselves have to use every day, even to get to the school.
That's
just
right.
certain paying guys, you know, paying a bill, paying car insurance. Why isn't this thing taught every single day? And it's going to be used, and it is used every single day.
Every single day.
I never. That's wow. And when you look at it,
is they profit off of our ignorance.
Yeah.
See, if I teach you about financial literacy, there's certain things that people like. I remember being on Facebook, and I seen an individual post. I think they spent like $300 for a belt. And I said to myself, for a belt? Again, if you have the money, I'm not telling you what to do with your money, but if you're going to be spending this type, make sure you got some investments set up. Make sure you got your life insurance set up. Make sure you got things in place, then go play around. But you just spending $300 on a belt, and now you have no savings, no investments, nothing like that, because we weren't taught about what to do with our money.
Exactly. And that's something I never understood. You know, my parents, because my parents are Haitian immigrants, you know, so them, all they knew was just to work, 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 and keep
Right.
your money. Don't be dumb like these are the kids. Whatever clothes we give you, you better be happy and grateful for it. You don't be
Right.
coming asking us for no Jordans, for no this, for no that. You know what I mean? And it was just, they weren't like, you know, trying to make me uh, um, a kid to not have nice things, but they were
Right.
teaching me where you don't need those things. It'd be
That's
better
right.
just to simply save your money. I used to see guys at a bus stop, $300 pairs of shoes, $500 belt, $500 jacket, jeans is like $300. The hat, $50, $60, $70. All of that at a bus stop, where yeah, you could have saved all of that and probably bought yourself a
And
small
bought
little
a
car.
car.
You know what I mean? So when I started to realize slowly, man, I could see why my mom and my dad are telling me, save your money. So at a very young age, I wasn't the one to go crazy. Oh man, let me find these next J's. Oh man, let me
Wonderful.
find these next stuff. You know, what can I set myself up with? Like I said, I started my first business while I was in high school. You know, I wanted to
Wonderful.
just implement myself right away and not just look to spend, spend, spend. I went to, so the business I started was a t-shirt business. I went to it's like a mall over here in Canada, Bramley City Center. It's like a big mall in Brampton, right? I go there and I just wanted to get a simple shirt at that time, just
Right.
that says TNDO, take no days off. That's it.
Okay.
The guy tells me $40. I say, what? $40 for the shirt? And I'm talking to my mom in her language, and he said, "Oh, y'all from Haiti? Y'all speak French?" I said, "Yeah, okay. You know what? Since you speak French, I'll give it to you for $35. $35. Thank you very much for a shirt that said
One
take
shirt.
no days off." So I told myself, man, why don't you just start your own t-shirt business? You can get the shirts and you
Right.
can make it yourself without having to spend it $40 on one. And to
That's
come to
right.
think of it, you know that same shirt he was charging $40 is a shirt that costs like $3.
Wow.
It costs, and if you buy it in bulk,
Wow.
exactly. If you buy it in bulk, it's even cheaper. So it could come down to like $2. So now the vinyl, maybe if you're buying it, if you're buying one sheet of vinyl, you're probably at $5 to $6, depending where you get it.
Right. That's for a whole sheet, right?
For like a full 12 by 12 yard sheet. But in terms for what he was writing, it would probably cost $4 for the sheet. So just think about it. $2 for the shirt or $3 for the shirt, $5, $6 for the sheet, and he's charging me $40. So, and you know, until this day, this, you know, having the machine and having what I had, it still saves me so much money. Anything I need to implement, if it's like a new business I'm having, I don't have to go out there to get the shirt done. So I learned, you know, entrepreneurship at a very young age
Excellent,
because
man.
it was not
Excellent.
being taught and whatnot, right? So, but that's why, you know, I like to be patient and continue to learn and learn and learn. But really, one thing I want to get into, you know, before I get into the two important things, you know, retirement and life insurance.
Right.
What changes do you see coming in the next 5 to 10 years in terms of this generation if they don't change, if they don't want anything to do with financial literacy? Because today, just look at anything new that comes out, they're on it, and they have so much technology. I mean, when I
I
was
agree.
in like middle school, the biggest thing we had was called MSN, and maybe Facebook was just starting to come up. We didn't have all the Instagram, and that was probably
No.
later
Oh
and
no.
late when I was in
Right.
high school, like late, maybe grade 12. But when I was in grade 7, we didn't have Instagram and all those things or all the new social media. You still saw people with flip phones or like those
That's true.
slide-up phones. You get what I mean? And so, but now for the next generation, because this one, especially the influence from social media, right? The
Oh,
biggest stars, they
goodness.
have it. Gotta have. Oh, LeBron has it. I gotta have it. Do you have LeBron money though?
That's right. That's a
You know what I'm saying?
difference. Big difference.
What do you see in the next 5 to 10 years to come if this generation refuses to take financial literacy serious, and if the parents refuse to teach their kids financial literacy, and if the schools continue to purposely refuse to teach the kids? What do you see in the next 5 to 10 years?
Wow, that's a excellent question. My goodness. Wow, I think it's going to be wow. So you're talking about, so if you go back years ago, like during when my grandmother was growing up and her mom, they had financial guys that were knocking on people's doors. It was like door knocking, and they would come there just like you had people getting milk brought to their house, crates of milk and things of that. Well, you have financial guys that were coming up and they were banging on their door. And usually that's how people were able to get their life insurance, investments, because someone knocked on the door.
Okay.
You know, the neighborhood guy came, knocked on the door. But in this day and age, there's no more door knocking anymore.
Yeah.
There's no more door knocking, or should I say, if there is, it's not a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, and if you don't have any money, no one's giving you a call.
Yeah.
You know, to say, hey, I want you to invest some money. You ain't got no money. Ain't nobody calling you to invest anything.
Yeah.
So if someone that you know of, or someone that refer you to someone that you know, unless something like that happen, people will never get that financial education. You know, because it's not, if you notice, I was listening to a guy, he has an excellent company. I won't say the name of the company, but he did this thing about the financial industry. And he talked about how certain commercials is predicated towards a certain group of people. And he talked about how if you're looking at like a basketball, like the NBA or something, you will not see any financial commercials during an NBA game.
Yeah.
But look at a golf game. Look at Tiger Woods playing golf. You're going to see a lot of financial companies that's on commercials, because what this guy was saying, how when you broke people look at broke people shows. That's why you see people looking at Atlanta Housewives and all that. Again,
Yeah.
I don't have nothing. Look, whatever people want to do, they do what they do.
Yeah.
And normally they promote like soda. You see fast food commercials and all that. You won't see financial stuff unless it's a sport that rich people like, a sport that rich people look at, and things of that. So in this day and age, 15 years from now, the education, even people being alert of what financial education is all about, it won't be there.
Wow.
It will not be there. And most people, if they don't have no money, they're not going to go sit down with a financial advisor, because a financial advisor get paid two ways: by your investment or by him actually sitting down with you. He charged you to have this type of stuff done.
Yeah.
So people don't see, like, they don't think about retirement until retirement comes.
Exactly.
And by that time, it's too late. So yeah, it's gonna be, we're gonna be in a whole lot of trouble.
Wow.
Whole lot of trouble, man, in 15 years without this education.
That right there is scary. You know, I never in my life seen it that way, because I could play golf, but I'm not someone I could watch golf, you know, unless it's maybe Tiger Woods' last shot, and if it goes in, everybody's cheering.
Right.
And when you look at it, most people who don't really do anything, don't invest, don't put, you know, themselves into a business or entrepreneur mindset, they're more ready to sit, you know, for hours at night to watch a game.
That's right.
Than, you know, even spend maybe 30 minutes to an hour just brainstorming. What business can I create? I mean, because all I grew up upon was complaining. No solutions, though. Nobody wanted to do anything about what they wanted to do. It was just, let me come and sit down and complain. And it started to, like, just take at a young age. Do I really want to be like that? Do I really want to just, you're upset by going to bed because you know you have to wake up the next day to go to the job you don't want to go to.
That you hate,
you know? And so I never in my life, I've seen it to the point where golf, because one thing I did hear about golf is that's where a lot of the business communications are happening.
That's right.
That's when people are, because I'm like, Michael Jordan's playing golf, Stephen Curry's playing golf. All these, why are they playing golf for? What? And then when it's realized, that's where all the business is happening. Everything that's to come 2-3 years ahead, those guys already know about it because they're discussing it.
Already know.
Investments. And so, but in the NBA game, no, it's just people who, yo, guys, the game is on. The Friday night game is on. LeBron's about to play. Things about to play. Come on, catch the game. But golf, you're not going to really hear that much. Hey, guys, Tiger Woods is about, you know, so I never seen it that way. So all of you watching and listening, start watching golf.
That's right. That's true. It's so true, man.
You know,
so true.
Yeah, no, wonderful answer with that. Now, you know, life insurance.
Wow.
You know, I gotta get like that. I don't know if you saw a recent show of mine, because life insurance, especially for Black people, it's been a scary thing for them to get.
Right.
Reason being, I don't know if you heard, but it's a show my mother and I used to watch called Sweetie Pies. It was a mother. She used to.
I heard of that.
She was a backup
just
singer
read
for
that
like
story.
Yeah, backup.
Yep.
And it was a show because, you know, me, I'm a mama's boy, right? So shows like that we see mother business, son helping out. It was a nice show to watch. And come to find out, her son, Miss Robbie's son, ended up getting arrested. Well, maybe I'd say like not even maybe a month ago, on a murder for hire plot against his own nephew. So
Own nephew, I
pretty
seen that.
much has his nephew get. I don't know what he told, because it makes sense to why the nephew would get it, because
Right.
so many black people refuse to just black people in general.
That's true.
It's not, this is not like
True statement.
a race
No.
thing, but from what I've
Facts.
known, black people are number one to not have any life insurance at all. I remember my cousin was telling me, he knew like a Jewish family. He said the son was born at like 3 something in the morning. They had life insurance on that kid by 7 something in the morning time. So I'm like, wait, back up. Kid is born at 3 something, already on life insurance at 7 something.
That's something,
What?
man.
And this kid does not even know what is going on right now. So it made me realize how behind, because I always wondered why those communities so ahead. Listen, I didn't say why those businesses, communities, Jewish have communities, Chinese,
That's right.
Indians.
That's right.
You know, so many white people have their communities or other ethnicity, but the one to seem to struggle to have a community was black people. So in terms of life insurance, Brother Mark Marinnie, please explain to us, what is life insurance and what is the importance of getting life insurance?
So life insurance, most people, when life insurance, a lot of people think life insurance is burial purposes, usually to be able to bury someone, but life insurance was never created just for burial purposes. Life insurance is income protection. So let's just say if I have a wife and I'm married, I'm bringing 50,000 into the household. My wife is bringing 50,000 into the household. That's a $100,000 lifestyle that we're living. So if I'm gone, can my wife continue to pay $100,000 in bills with $50,000 of income? She can't. So guess what's going to happen? In most cases, the husband and the wife both got all these bills together. So the bill collector is not going to say, well, you know what, your husband died, so we're going to let you off the hook. No. They still going to want these bills to be paid.
Exactly.
So if you don't have a policy on yourself, and what most people don't understand, they got insurance on their phone, they have insurance on their car, they have insurance on the house. Everything has insurance, but the person that pays for all the insurance.
That's crazy.
They're paying $100 and something for cable, but won't pay $50 to insure the life that pays for the cable. So one of the reasons, so having a life insurance is so important. I just had someone who I was cool with that just passed away earlier this year in his 30s. Wow. And this guy is something because we talked about it. Wow. But you know, people talk about it, they never go take care of it though.
Yeah.
You know, if you talk to the average person, especially if they have a family, they know in the back of their mind they need life insurance. They know this already. But the four questions I usually ask them, I say, number one, here's the 4 reasons why people don't have life insurance. Number one, they just didn't care about their family. They like, listen, that I'm gone. They, you know, it is what it is. Believe it or not, there's some people that think like that.
Yeah.
They don't care about their family. Number 2 is they didn't understand it. They didn't know how it worked. They thought it cost too much, or they didn't get around to it. And with this guy, didn't get around to it. Young guy, died in a car accident. Wow. Left the family nothing.
That is crazy.
Had he listened to what I told him to do, he would have left his family $500,000. Wow. What do you think that wife could do with $500,000?
A lot.
She could have paid off the house, or she could have invested that money, and it could have yielded the same thing that he was bringing into the house. Yeah. But because we didn't do what we were supposed to do, now people are doing GoFundMes. Yeah, and now your wife, not only is she hurting physically, but financially.
Exactly. Yeah, I've seen it more often. A lot of people that, you know, if they pass away or something happened, I'm like, man, like a lot of people, they just put a GoFundMe and try to expect the people to pay it off, but that's obviously, they didn't take life insurance.
They don't, because most people say they're young. Oh, I'm healthy. I don't have nothing doing, but death comes to everybody's house.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are going to die. It's just the truth of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, somebody's going to be living when the Lord come back for his people.
Yeah.
But most of us are going to die.
Yeah.
So some people, oh, well, I think about it when I get in my 60s, my 70s, but you may die next week.
Exactly.
What's going to happen to your family?
Yeah.
And most people think it's not going to be me, but so does the other hundreds of thousands of people say the same thing. So life insurance is not just burial purpose, but it's income protection. My nickname for it is paycheck replacement.
Yeah.
Because the life insurance comes in and it's supposed to replace your income.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if it's a man that has a wife and kids, you know.
Exactly.
Wow. So I know you crossed over to point number 1, number 2. Did you state number 3?
And number 3 was what?
4, you had 4 points.
Oh yeah, it was so it was, you mean when I told them the different,
The first one, some people just don't care.
Don't care. They don't understand it.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal right there. Some people just don't understand it because in most cases, if you happen, even in Canada, I was looking at some of you guys' statistics, and it's almost mirroring America.
Oh yeah. Over here, like life insurance, because people are, and a lot of the times, to be honest, some people, they're scared. They're scared to get it.
Oh yes.
It's like today. It's like telling people you have life insurance. It's like, yo, I got 500,000 in the safe, in the house, or I got 500,000 cash somewhere. You know what I mean? People are saying, because some kids or some family members. I mean, look with Sweetie Pies. How does a man have it in him to try to hire people to kill your own nephew? And you call the insurance company right after. Don't even try to make it like he didn't do it. You call the insurance company right after to collect the $450,000 payout. That's what his nephew's life was worth. So it's like today, a lot of people, there's a fear. You know what? I have life. Some parents, they probably don't even tell their kids they have life insurance.
That's true.
You know,
that's true. That's definitely one of the points.
Yeah, because it's like, for me, I look at it over here. I'm telling you right now, brother, life insurance. Look, I told you, a Jew, baby born 3 something, life insurance already by the time it's 7 something in the morning, not in the evening, in the morning. Come on now.
Education.
Man, come on.
Education is so powerful, man, and guarantee you that guy was taught about the importance of life insurance.
Absolutely.
So most people think too, like when I sit down with clients or potential clients, many of them, they're scared to get life insurance because they think that they're putting a curse on them. You have a lot of people like, no. Like they just stay away from it. They're like, look, no. And I tell them, I'll be playing, listen, what happens if you did not come home?
Exactly.
Who's going to take care of your family? Absolutely. People don't like to have those conversations.
Yeah.
Because it's scary. They think like, oh, something going to happen to me. Because you have a lot of people that's paranoid when it comes to that type of stuff.
Exactly.
But you can't allow that because God forbid you die, your family still need to be taken care of.
Absolutely.
You know, so I run into those cases, or I run into one of the most, well, most people are in this particular position where they have life insurance through their job.
Okay.
But here's the thing about it being through your job. It's called group life insurance. The reason why it's called group life insurance, because a group of employees, they're on one policy. This is why when I sit down with people and I say, listen, they be like, oh yeah, I got insurance already. I got it through work. I say, okay, could you go get the policy for me? They can't go get the policy because they're not the owner of it.
Exactly.
Their employer is the owner of it.
Ah.
So, and this is why it's so cheap, because it's a bunch of people on one policy. And it's usually 1 to 2 times annual salary.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of opt, maybe get like another 100,000 or so. But here's the downfall of just having it through your work. It's predicated on you being actively on payroll, meaning you break your leg in the wintertime, you know, you slip on some ice and you got to be out for a month or 2. No insurance for you until you come back to work. This is why they're going to put you on disability.
Okay.
So most people think they got it through their job, but what happens if I'm the husband, I break my leg and I'm out, and during that month and a half I'm out because I got a broken leg, I die. Your job will not pay for that insurance because you're not actively on payroll.
And so your family, they'll pretty much, they'll have nothing.
Nothing at all. And I see this, I was looking at something not too long ago on YouTube. In fact, your viewers can look it up, where this guy was a teacher. And you know, the teachers, they work, and then during the summertime, many times they're out. And during that time, in his mind, he thinking he had 300,000 to leave to his family. Well, he died 1 or 2 days before the school year started. No policy was paid out.
All because he wasn't actively working.
He was not at work. He wasn't actively on payroll.
And the family got nothing.
So that's the downfall. The second downfall is it's not portable. So let's just say we're in an era now where people are not working for their jobs 20 and 30 years no more. They see another opportunity, they go after it.
Go after it, yeah.
So now you've been working at this one job 15, 20 years. That's 15 or 20 years of your life. So life insurance is predicated on 2 things, your age and your health. So that's 20 good years now that's down the drain. So now instead of you getting life insurance in your 20s or your 30s, now you getting it in your 50s. It's going to be way more expensive than it was when you was in your 30s.
Yeah.
So something that you could have got a policy for spending $40 for, now you're spending $250, $300 for.
Yeah.
So having it through work is always, there's nothing wrong with having it through work. It's only a few bucks.
Yeah.
But that should supplement what you have, your personal life insurance. So most people you run into, they have work insurance, which is probably every person I run into, they say, well, I already got insurance. Now I ask them, what happens if you break your leg? Man, I'll be in trouble. I hope it don't happen. Yeah, you can pray about it, but you have to be wise. You know, don't depend on other people to have to pay out your policy.
Yeah.
Or have to pay for your funeral, and yet you walking around here with the new iPhone, you walking around here with all this stuff going on, and you don't have any insurance.
And the thing is, let's just say the difference is when you have your personal life insurance, you can get fired from your job, but still have that life insurance and go get another job. But once you get fired from that job and that was your only life insurance, you may got shook that you got fired, you're stressed out, have a heart attack, you die, but because your life insurance was only within that job, your family gets nothing at the end.
Nothing at all.
Wow. Okay.
Matter of fact, it just happened during the pandemic. In the month of April, people were being laid off. People were being let go. And guess what? No insurance. People were working for jobs for 20 and 30 years.
That's crazy.
No more jobs no more. So now that's 30 years of your life gone. So they're going to base it on your health and your age. Yeah. So you can't think about, oh, well, you know, I've been at this job. You could be here at your job today and don't have a job next week.
Exactly. Yeah, it's happening over here too.
Oh, it's happening in Canada as well?
Man, layoffs over here. Like some businesses, they literally have to show. I went to one this is like a Trinidadian kind of store just to get some roti, whatnot, and you know, guys having a nice conversation, and he's telling me, man, the pandemic it hit rough, man. It hit rough for us. Like, you know, he said people them, they didn't even know that we were open during the pandemic, and it was rough. They had to go through the personals just to pay the rent and to keep it going and stuff. That this pandemic, it hit. When I say hit, it hit businesses who probably thought they were untouchable got touched. People who thought they would never lose their business lost their business. People being laid off like it's nothing. You know, when the Spanish flu was happening and there were so many sick people, they had them on the boat and there was too many in the boat. They had to start throwing them in the ocean. That's how people over here was getting laid off. It was tough. It was rough. And some of them would state it on, LinkedIn. Some of them, they were literally stating it on LinkedIn. Oh, I got wiped out by this pandemic. I thank so-and-so company for all it's done. If any company, any jobs out there looking for are hardworking so-and-so, I'm your person. And it's like, it's so tough to see something like that. It's so hard to see something like that because people probably just never expected it. And the worst case scenario, what you say, it's they're at this job 5, 10, 20 years, and all of a sudden, bro, you got to go. You know what I mean? And so the layoffs over it, I'm telling you, man, it was like daycare's business. Daycare is one of the hottest businesses. They got hit. You know, schools aren't even the same anymore. It has to, even within like soccer, you know, they can't even, it's so much changes happening. So many leagues had to be canceled. You know what I mean? Because of it. They had to stop playing because so a lot of people, there was a lot of hits, and what's crazy, I know they said during this pandemic, the two that made the most money was Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos. because Amazon, and this once again, that's what I was coming back to when when people play golf. I don't know if Jeff plays golf, but whatever the investment mind he had that at a young age. He started doing online and he was working on it in the 90s. And now, obviously, at that time, people are thinking, maybe this guy's crazy. You really think people are going to really
That's
come
true.
and want to buy something online? No. People like the experience. People like to, stay in the stores. And now, look, the pandemic it literally told these businesses, you better not even make one person
That's right.
come. They literally, everybody had to go and order online. They didn't care. It doesn't matter how old you were. It didn't matter how young you were. So when I look at it, when you say the layoffs, brother, I'm telling you, man, it really hit for some companies, like some people. I remember you could just, be talking to one guy one day at work, and then you maybe message him the next hour. He got laid off. He got fired. So it really, and once again, it goes back to people just stating, go to school, then go to college, go to university, get a good job, work that job, and it's security. If people don't realize after this pandemic that there is no security even in that full-time job you have,
That's right.
you
Said.
I don't know what else to say. So within that life insurance, it's like something I never even knew in terms of if you have it with your workplace, you could literally just not be actively working and dead, there's nothing going towards your family and stuff like that. That is just, it's crazy, brother. But yeah, that's why I just wanted to touch on in terms of the layoffs, like being in the States, because you guys it's a bigger country and more. How has that been turning out over there?
So believe it or not, the life insurance industry now have picked up big time because now people are a lot of people are dying, man. So a lot of people are scared for their life. So they're like, listen, people who I normally people were calling me, hey, man, listen, I need to get with you. I need to get same people that wasn't trying to talk to me. I need to get with you, brother, because they understand, like, listen, there's a possibility that I may die during this virus.
Yep.
So I want to make sure that I have my affairs in order. And that's another thing a lot of people don't look at life insurance for, but life insurance is also generational wealth.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that. I forget which billionaire it was. I don't know if it was Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, but one of those guys, one of their businesses was started from life insurance proceeds.
Oh.
See, the thing about it, you got to understand, you're not just leaving just to protect the income, but you're actually leaving wealth for the next generation.
To come, yeah.
I believe Master P. Now, I don't, obviously, what he do, how he make his money, I don't have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say, he was able to start his first business from a life insurance policy that was paid out.
Okay.
So you leave your family, not only leaving them to protect income, but also you're leaving them generational wealth.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is stuff that we don't talk about, because in our culture, see, rich people leave wills. Our people leave bills.
Yeah.
They leave wills, we leave bills. Every generation is starting from the beginning. I don't understand it. Every generation, I grow up, I die, I don't leave nothing. My son or daughter, whoever, they raise up, they do the same thing. They don't leave nothing. It's just a circle. No one says, all right, I'm gonna leave 100,000. You know what I can do with $100,000?
Exactly.
There's so much that we can do, but no one is leaving nothing. No one, like, if you ask, people should have a will. That's very important. If you don't have a will, then the state has one for you, and guarantee you, you're not gonna like the rules that's in that will. So these are things that we don't talk about. But we got a $1,500 phone. You see what I'm saying? So, but we
you get insurance protection on that phone.
On the phone. You paying insurance on the phone.
Would you like insurance protection? Oh, absolutely. Would you like life insurance? Man. I'm good. I'm good. It's crazy.
That's too much money, but your cable bill $160.
So
cable bill is $160.
Life insurance, though, on average, how much does it cost?
So again, it's predicated on your age, and it's predicated on your age and your health. So I recommend, not just me, but every financial expert out there, we recommend term insurance. Term insurance. Now, I know a lot of people may fight me on this, so some people may hate what I'm going to say about this, but it's the truth, you know. But term insurance, you get a whole lot. It's pure protection. So it's like your medical insurance. There's no investment attached to it.
Okay.
Your car insurance, there's no investment attached to it. All of your insurance, your phone insurance, there's no investment attached, just pure protection. Something happened to it, it's paid out. Nothing happened, nothing is paid out.
Okay.
And with this, it gives you the ability to have a whole lot of, it's almost like life insurance would be compared to renting a pile of money.
Oh, okay.
And just, you know, take a piece of that money out and I pay to rent a pile. God forbid something happened to me, I have this pile of money. So I sat down with a client and he's in his 30s. We was able to give him $500,000 worth of coverage for $74. 574. But again, people don't understand. People
$74 a month?
$74 a month.
$500,000.
500,000.
$74 a month.
$74 a month. And yet we're paying $100.
Brother, wait. Hold on. $74 a month.
$74 a month.
$500,000.
In his mid-30s. But break that down now. So 74, if you divide it into 4, that's a few bucks a week that is going to put your family on the right path.
That's nothing. You know what people pay for a month in this country? People pay for things that are just for not. Listen, people will spend. I know people's phone bill is more expensive than that. People will spend,
my phone bill like that.
My phone bill is like about $150, $160. Huh? $74 life insurance.
74. Yep.
500,000.
God forbid something happened to him, his family will be paid $500,000. That's $500,000. $500,000. $74. And again, it's predicated on health and it's predicated on age. So the earlier you get it, the better you can get it.
So what about somebody in mid-20s, very healthy?
Oh my goodness. They probably can get $1 million policy for like $90.
That is unbelievable, man.
Easy. And that can set your family on a whole different path. You can buy properties. You can literally set up generational wealth just by doing that. Like my father had passed away when he was 46.
Jeez.
And this is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about life insurance, because he died without it.
Okay.
And my father said, we have a hospital around here called Robert Wood Johnson. And he sat in there in the morgue of that hospital for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So he died. He was in there more for 2 weeks because we just didn't have the money. We eventually got the money, but we couldn't even have a funeral. We had to just cremate. We had to cremate. So, but the monies that were used to take care of bills had to be rerouted to pay for this. So obviously, electricity not going to be on for a while. Food. This was in the month of August, one of the hottest months out the season. So it's like, and thankfully, me and my siblings was a little older. But just imagine that had took place, and we were 4 years old.
4 years old. So yeah, exactly. Yeah.
My father, I did the math because I wanted to have a number to see like what would have happened if this guy had got it, or any guys. But I'm talking in reference to my father now. My father had $1 million policy. He probably been paying $90 for it. That I would have been left, me and my 2 siblings and my mother would have been left $1 million. We could have split that up amongst all of us. That could have been a businesses, whole bunch of stuff. So you're telling me we didn't have $90? We had $90. We had $90. So people don't understand. People think, you see, the thing about life insurance, you can't die, be raised up from the dead, body insurance, and then die again.
You can't do that.
You can't do it, man. You gotta have it. It's the most, from a natural standpoint, life insurance is the most important part of your natural life, because it is that pays for everything else.
Everything else.
If you're not here, nothing gets paid.
Exactly.
So it's very important. People just don't understand it.
Especially if you're somebody who has like almost zero debt. Like maybe the highest debt you probably would have is maybe your mortgage, but it's maybe like 200 something thousand left to pay on it.
Right.
Imagine $1 million left out. Pays off the house. You could maybe do a little bit more to it, rent it out, or sell it, flip it, sell it for
That's
even
right.
more. Get more equity from that house, more money. So there's pretty much a lot that can be done with. And now imagine both parents having life insurance. Their kids are laughing. The kids will be. I mean, it'll be sad. They'll be crying for a bit, but you know,
Right.
they'll be,
We'll be crying with some money though.
okay, wait, let's just go invest in this business. Oh, but we're a bit sad, So that's crazy. But no, that's some very, very good information, brother, about life insurance. All of you watching, please, please, please. This is not a joke. I mean, I do these podcasts, it's an enjoyable time, but it's to really inform you all. You've heard it. Get your life insurance. Get it. If you have a certain care, don't have a kid if you're not going to want to protect them, at least have something for them. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a construction worker, the things you're climbing up, you're working workplaces, it's constant moving, you're at risk. The other day, it was a family, an old friend of ours from an old church we used to go to. This man, he was at his job, and what happened was, I don't know, like something he didn't do, and fire just came, burnt up his whole stomach. But a whole stomach, just fire burnt up his whole stomach. And the crazy part is, he is like, so nothing's gonna pretty much be paid out to him because it was his fault. He should have checked the machine and how it was. So I don't know if he has life insurance. I don't know what the case, but most likely, especially within the Haitian community, life insurance it does not exist. If it does, it's to the ones who maybe the ones that have money, who get the understanding of why it's important, but the ones that should get it, that should use it, not even a little bit. It's because a lot of the times it's for them, they look at it as, especially sometimes the men, I ain't got no problems with nobody, I ain't get no, like, for example, when back in 2010, February, but way before that, a lot of people were offering my dad, telling him, sir, do you want to get alarm system? It's very important that you get an alarm system because there's been break-ins going on in this neighborhood, which there has been. My dad, oh no, I don't have problem with nobody. Nobody have problem with me. Why do I need it? Like, why do I need it? Right? I have no problems with nobody. Nobody.
Right.
So within the 2010, December 2010, we come in. I'll never forget this, man. I come out the car, and then I see my cousin's light open, but I'm like, she's in school, Sudbury. Sudbury is like 3 hours away, and she doesn't drive. So why is the light open? And I saw my mom, my dad, did you guys leave the light open? My mom was like, no. My dad's like, he doesn't remember. And as we get closer to the door, we see like a broken wood stick that's kind of broken. We see like a footprint on the door. That's when we realize somebody broke into the house. Stay with our neighbors for a little bit, for maybe like about 30 minutes to an hour, waiting for the cops. That took them forever to show up. Went in the house was a mess. Clothes all over the place. My mom made some food. She had to throw it out because she didn't know if they did something to the food. The back door was completely wide open. They were looking for something. And my dad, that church we used to go to, he was the one that was counting the money, all of that gone. I think there's probably about $3,000-$4,000 in there. Not too sure, but all of that gone and everything. And the only recovery was, now we have to get an alarm system. Now we have to get, so it's pretty much with the example, what I'm saying is, if we had that, because we had a old coach of mine, someone tried to break into his house, but they ran out. Why? Because the alarm was on. So as soon as they heard the signs, they left. But now, because the ones that didn't have it, because people seem to fail to understand, you don't need to have a problem with somebody for them to have a problem with you. You don't have to.
I agree.
These people that broke in the house, they even left a note in my cousin's history book. Oh, you like history? I hate history. My teacher was this. They left a note for us inside. So I'm like, wow. These people really took. So the example I'm saying is the difference, and what I'm trying to compare to is that life insurance is, there's one family who doesn't have that life insurance, who doesn't have that alarm system. Now with easy access for somebody to, and trouble entered, problems entered. That's the same thing those of you that's watching, you don't have life insurance, that's the same thing that's going to happen for your family. The one that you say you love. The
They
one that
say
you
they
say you
love them.
someone's just going to enter in, not some, but problems, bills. You know, bills, and look, I can tell you bills kill people, brother.
I agree.
Bills make people bills make people can't sleep. Bills gotta have people on anxiety pills, sleeping pills, wake up pills. Bills
right.
make people bills make people do some crazy drugs. Bills make people get high and drunk. Bills
So
make people
right.
jump off a bridge.
Right.
Bills, hey? Bills.
Bills.
One
Don't
bill,
have the money.
another bill comes, and another bill comes, and another bill comes, and it's like it's a never-ending thing. You know, now the water's leaking. Now such and such. So it's within life insurance. When you get that example, the best thing you can do is just not put your family through that, or not
That's
let
right.
them have to go through that. Your car insurance, you have car insurance for a reason. Look, where I live, it's the most expensive car insurance because there's so many accidents. But regardless, you still have to pay for it. You don't have
to pay for it.
You don't have car insurance over here, brother Mark. You're finished. You're finished.
You're in trouble, huh?
Don't even. Oh my! To even have another insurance company take you, you probably will be well over $1,000 a month just on car insurance. Where I am,
That's a lot,
well
man.
over $1,000 if you drive without it. So it's to the point where we're having insurance on all these things, on phones, on even like lights or laptops.
Right.
Warranty is what they call it.
That's right. Which is insurance.
You know, I deal with some callers. I said, sure, would you want to get the warranty, or you want to risk, you know, having to, you know, if the machine breaks and having to pay the amount, this and that. Oh, well, I'm going to gamble it. Next, you know, a couple months later, something's wrong with the machine. Guess who they're calling? They get warranty. All of a sudden, no, don't. I told you to get the insurance. Right. I told you to get the warranty.
You gave them the option.
It's honestly, when it comes down to it, brother, like you really hit it on the nail. You know, it's truly wonderful, you know, being able to speak about it and really encourage those out there. But really, it's at the end of the day, it's serious. It's a
very serious. And one thing I didn't mention was the fact that if that husband or that wife die, I'm just going to speak on the husband side.
Yeah.
That husband dies, and now him and his wife accumulated all these bills together. And sooner or later, if she's not paying those bills, which she can't pay $100,000 of bills with $50,000 of income, sooner or later, something start called a levy, where they can go into her account and wipe it clean.
Yep.
Because she's backed up and she's not paying on these bills, and these bills are in collection now. And now they can live. So now you put your wife in a position where everything is wiped out. Whatever her name is on a bank, they're going into that account and they'll levy the whole thing.
Wow.
Because you're not paying the bills, which is hard to pay if the other person that she brought the bills with or got the bills with is no longer here. So husbands, you must understand, if you have a family, even if you just have a wife and no children, you still want to make sure you have a plan. I always say, some people may say, well, I can't afford to get $500,000. I can't afford to get $300,000. Oatmeal is better than no meal.
Yeah.
A bowl of oatmeal, I'm still eating, is better than no meal, having nothing. So you must get that. I don't care if you got to cut the cable off for a while.
Yeah.
Because the cable, if you're not here no longer, they're not going to have cable anyway.
Exactly.
You know, so it's very important. I just forgot to say something.
Yeah, no, that's one of. I'm glad you said that. It happens over here as well. I was with my cousin, the one that used to go to school in Sudbury and whatnot. So we were, because she's just coming to visit, you know, for the weekend and stuff, and did little groceries. And she said, "Oh no, cause I got it." So you sure? She said, yeah, no problem. So I just go out in the car, you know, just waiting for her, and I'm like, man, this is taking longer than usual. I'm like, what's going on? It's taking longer than usual. So she comes back finally, you know, and I said, what happened? Oh, like my card's not working. What do you mean? She says, I know I have $600 on this card. Why is it not? So she calls the card company. She says, what's going on? They tell her, oh, like some weird name, but it was a government name because she was backed up on, because her debt, her student debt. Because when you're not paying that off, they get to you. So what they did, you're not paying us, they wiped out the whole entire card. and you can't do nothing about it because that money wasn't for you in the first place. It was for the government. So that's another thing too. What I wanted to state was, for parents watching, because a lot of the times they don't want to prepare anything for their kid. It's just get from the government, and they're already like training their kid the mentality in terms of just pay off this debt whenever you can. People end up in like thousands of dollars of debt
Right.
by like 21, 22.
Thousands.
Like why put it? And it's to the point where because they weren't prepared, and it just
Right, I
shows. And
agree.
on top of it, you don't have life insurance. Now something happens to you, you done and gone. Now you adding more bills on your kids.
Right.
Just imagine 3-4 kids, thousands of dollars combined. That's over $1 million in
Crazy,
debt combined. You're literally working just to pay off debt and stuff like that. So that's something I wanted to add on from what you said. That was my only experience. So I had like a lot of crazy type of experiences
Right.
when it came to money, like small stuff like that or small things like this. And I just never wanted to be in that predicament at all. So moving along, I want to get to the last, but not the least,
Right.
retirement.
Oh my.
Retirement, I say. Man, brother Mark, come on, just get started on retirement, please.
Wow. So I know in the States, I can only talk about the States, but I'm pretty sure that Canada is the same way. So years ago, when people, I'm going back in the, I want to say the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, even the 80s, and a little bit of the 90s. People relied on two sources of income when they got ready to retire. They relied on something called a pension, which is something that their employer would pay them for their work. They worked for them for a while. When they got ready to retire, they had that pension there for them. So they can pretty much live off of that. You had something called Social Security.
Yeah.
And what Social Security was, they take the 30 years of your highest grossing years, they average it out, and they give you 40% of that. So if people are having a problem with 100% of their income, what do you think they're going to do with only 40%
of the income? Yeah.
So they call it the three-leg stool. You have your pension, you have your Social Security, and you have whatever savings that your little personal savings. So with that, you can live pretty okay in retirement. Well, fast forward to 2020, there's under 15% of the people that still have pensions. 15% now. And these are people that may work for the state, work for the government, work for a large company that may, like an auto company, something like that. So if you're not in those type of fields, there's no pensions for you no more. Exactly. So people, like, if I asked most people, like, when do people normally retire? They would tell me about 62, 65. Now I believe the age is 70 years old now. Well, those are old rules. Retirement is no longer an age. It's an amount of money that you need. So people are thinking that they're going to retire. Oh, when I hit 70, I ain't working no more. But not understanding those are the old rules. We're in the new rules. So to give you an idea what I'm talking about, it was a guy who I used to work with, and very good guy too, man. And me and him would talk, and when someone's talking about financial stuff, my antennas go up. So he telling me he about to retire and he gonna have this pension. So I asked him, I said, oh, okay, what company is paying for that pension for? He was like, oh no, when you turn the retirement age, you get all that. I'm like, no, bro, that's not how it works. He like, listen, man, I know what I'm talking about. So I said, all right, listen. I said, do me a favor, just check it out. Come to find out, he has no pension.
That's crazy.
He has $10,000 in a 401k. Just bought a house. That was it. He was 62 years old.
62?
62. 62 years old with 10,000 in a 401k and no pension.
That is crazy.
When he came back to me, I forget how long ago it was after that. This grown dude, like he from the hood, older guy, you can tell he had a rough life, but he still was doing good for himself. Had bought a brand new house, thought he was gonna live in that house throughout retirement. This guy looked like he was about to cry. He said, I have $10,000 in a 401k. And a lot of people, they get happy when they hear 401ks. 401ks was presented so they can take away that pension.
Yeah.
Because the pension, the employer had to fund that.
Mm-hmm.
The 401k, they leave it to us.
Wow.
You want to fund it? We'll match it, but they don't make it mandatory. So now most people are not thinking about now. They're thinking about, oh, I'll start paying it when I get, older, not understanding that when it's come to investments, it's all about time.
Yeah.
All about time. So this guy had $10,000 because he was going off the old rules. Retirement age. Retirement is no longer, it's no such thing as a retirement age now.
Yeah.
That's just the time when they start cutting you your benefits, your Social Security. But with 40%, I know a guy, older guy, was this guy, I won't call his name, but this guy should be about 65. He have a little bit over $1,400 that come in a month for the whole month.
Yeah.
So if rent is $900 to $1,000,
can't do nothing with that.
$400 is left. What else he got to eat? He need travel time. He do have a car, but I don't know how long that car gonna be around.
Yeah.
So it's like people got to understand, but these are the things that we're not taught in school. It's purposely done like that. You ever heard of this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yes, sir.
So this guy, Robert Kiyosaki, in the book, is a very good book.
Yeah.
And within this book, he talks about his rich dad and his poor dad. And I believe he was in Hawaii, if I'm not mistaken. And his dad was like an educator. And he said he came to his poor dad and asked him, listen, why aren't we taught financial education? His dad said, because the government don't want us to teach that. They don't want us to teach you that, because if we start teaching you things, you're going to do much better with your money. You're going to make better decisions with your money. Most people don't even understand saving and investing is two different things.
Exactly.
I could save $1,000 and 20 years from now, it won't even be worth $1,000 because of the cost of living.
Yeah.
But if I invest that $1,000, it'll be more money in 20 years. So you got people that's just stacking up. That's why man, when it comes to putting your money in a bank, that's one of the worst things you can do when it comes to investments.
Please say that. Please say that again. So the neighbors could hear. The people across the street could hear. Please say that again one more time, please.
Putting your money in a bank. I mean, I'm not talking about don't have a checking account.
Yeah.
And a checking account is your money. I'm not saying don't have a checking account, but putting your money in a savings account is the worst thing you can do. I know some bank people not going to like me, but I'm going to tell the truth. If you don't like me, I don't care. I got to tell the truth.
Exactly.
Put your money in the bank. If you look at the rate of return on your money, it is under 1%. Yeah. It's like 0.5 something, 0. That ain't nothing. So if you understand the rule of 72 and you understand that your money doubles with that interest, like the rule of 72, I mean, it's one, I believe is one of the greatest rules when it comes to investment, because it shows you how long it takes your money to double. Yeah. So if I have money at a 3% rate of return, my money will double every 24 years. Now, how many of those doubling periods do I have in my life? If I'm already in my 30s now, maybe one, if that. So you got to look at your rate of return. So in a bank account, that's nothing, man. This is why those banks are able to have those big banks and stuff.
Exactly.
They're using our money.
Don't realize that. People, and especially when it comes to within credit cards, it's so, because one guy that works at the workplace I was at, he was giving, I'm not going to call his name or whatever, but he was giving me the raw truth within banks. He say, working in a bank, it's one of the most, it's a disgusting field for the way they treat people and how they is. Here you are, you're supposed to be an advisor. Advisor means I'm advising you. I'm giving you advice. You see, they don't say good financial advisor. They just say financial advisor.
That's all they say. That's all they say.
Just think about it. 18 years old, knows nothing about money. Take this credit card. Oh, credit card, what is this? It's $1,000 on it. Here you go. Knows nothing about. Kid comes back. Oh, this $1,000. I mean, kind of, I'm seeing this. What's interest? What is all these things? Kid has people don't realize this is how banks make money, man, off of interest. You know how the bank, they would all crash down if everybody has to buy their house cash, if everybody bought their cars cash, if everybody stopped taking, it would be so tough. to grab a bank. But if that thing was generational, because big families with heavy dough, they don't have to go to the banks and stuff like that. So you stating that, Brother Mark, is something people, and it's over here too, people do not understand it.
They don't understand it. And that's because we were taught. We were taught, if you hear people that say, oh, if I ever hit the lottery, I'm going to put my money in a bank and live off the interest.
Yeah.
So that's what we've been hearing for years. Put my money in the bank, live off the interest. Not understanding that the bank, people think you take your money to the bank, they just wrap it up in rubber bands. And no. They take our money and invest it into the global economy.
Yeah.
They make all this money and then they give us back little pennies.
Pennies, exactly.
You know, so how can you make any money in the bank? So that's what we teach people. Listen, get your money out that bank, man. I've been in cases where people had almost $70,000, $80,000 of liquid cash in a savings account, just sitting there making nothing on it. You know, but it's because we're not educated. Like, I mean, this investing thing is something. There's a saying, it said, people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan.
Yeah.
So the byproduct of not planning is, unfortunately, a lot of stuff that's happening now. You go in some of these Walmarts, you see people grandmom in there.
Oh yeah. Over here,
highlighting tickets.
Oh yeah.
You think she want to be in there doing that? She don't want to be in there doing that, but she wasn't educated.
Exactly.
And now she's teaching her daughters the same thing she was taught. So it's like, it's not that they were teaching the wrong stuff. They just taught them only what they can tell them.
What they could tell them. They weren't able to teach them what they knew now, which is kind of like way late, you know, right. Not on time, and really in terms to educate them, because a lot of the time, and not even just that, you have in our generation, like a lot of these they'll go to work, you know, not making that much, just a simple job and stuff, right. And they're using that money just to spend it all, like literally right. just to, and it's on either food or shoes. Like I don't know if it's like that in America, but people spend food over here like crazy. And look, instead of literally buying the food, learning you could go on YouTube to learn how to cook. And if it has to be the same thing every day, so be it. I remember I was playing pickup, and one guy was telling me, man, yeah, you know, I have this car, finance. Okay, all right. And then he said, you know what, for food, at least minimum twice a day, I have to buy food. It has to be twice a day, or twice a month? Twice a day. Just it's crazy.
Right, I'm guilty at times, man. I know, I can relate, man. I remember one time I just wanted to see the numbers, man. It was almost $400, bro.
That's wow.
Because when I'm going out, I may get some salmon with some, you know, that's $15, $16.
Exactly.
That's one meal.
Yeah.
You know, so usually people are going in the morning. They getting a coffee, a donut, or a sandwich, spending $7-something, then they're gonna spend another $12 on lunch. Yep. They're gonna go home, and this is happening Monday through Friday.
Exactly. Or some people Monday through Saturday.
So like what you said, imagine if they cook their own food.
Or just buy a coffee. People will spend the money over and over year after year and not simply buy a coffee machine. You have it started in the morning, go freshen yourself up, do whatever. Coffee's waiting for you. People wouldn't want to do that. They would rather constantly spend, because it doesn't take in that moment. If you just tell somebody you really want to spend that $1.75, man, it's just $1.75. Times that 5-6 times a week. That's right. Like for the next 15, 20 years that you're doing it for. Come on, man. You know?
That's a lot of money, man.
That's a lot.
You're talking about a millionaire.
Yeah.
If they invested that money that they spend, that 15 per week for a month, and they doing this year, man, by the time they retire, they'd be a millionaire, man.
Yeah, exactly.
If they invested in mutual funds, they would be a millionaire, man. All that money, but we're not taught.
We're not taught exactly. We're not taught that at all. So in terms of retirement, how can somebody set up for retirement? The audience watching now, you know, some could be early 20s, mid 20s, maybe 18s, 15s, mid 30s, whatever the case is, 50, 60, I don't know. How can they get started?
I would recommend, so this question is a little difficult, because there's certain things I can't say as a result of, you know, because again, we're talking about investments and things. So I would give you like a basis.
Yeah.
So what I recommend, so this is the one thing I was trying to get to, I forgot to mention it. let's say if I was making 30,000 in today's money in 2020,
Mm.
and let's just say that's about $2,500 a month,
Yeah.
which would give you about your 30,000 hours a year. In 2050, 30 years from now, there's something called inflation that takes place.
Mm-hmm.
Been averaging about 3%. You know, average obviously up and down, but it's been averaging about 3%. So in the year 2050, I would actually need $73,000 to spend what 30,000 spends in today's
Today's
money.
money. Yeah.
So in order for me to get that type of money, I will have to invest some money. And so that person's we call it a financial independence number, which is with the money, the amount of money you need to be able to live off of without never having to go back to work. So in order to have that $30,000 lifestyle, I would need $1 million. And that would yield me my 73,000 per year when I get ready to retire in 30 years. So people just got to start looking at investments like mutual funds. Mutual funds is one of the greatest investment tool to use, believe it or not, because it gives you the same access to investments that these big time people have.
Yeah.
So to kind of explain a little bit, it would be like us walking into what's a famous mall in Canada?
Square One. Or if you're talking about Canada, I would say Square One.
So let's say me and you walking in Square One.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're walking in Square One and we see a Sears over here. In fact, Sears is actually going out of business. I believe it's out of business already.
Yeah,
So
some over here has been out of business.
And you got the Apple store over here. So I may have lost some money over here, but there's Apple stores over here.
Yeah.
So it'd be like us putting our money in every store within that mall. Some I'm going to lose over here, but some I'm going to win over here. So your money is invested in tons of investments. So when people hear 401k, they think a 401k is not an investment. A 401k would be, a 401k is a tax law. It's not an investment. A 401k is a tax law. So it'd be like me having a jar of cookies. The jar would be the actual 401k. The cookies would be the actual investment.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, for sure, absolutely. We have something over here. It's called RRSP. I don't know if you guys have it in the States as well. But RRSP, it's a retirement savings plan. So pretty much when you work for a company, they'll match what you put in, but certain companies,
same thing as us.
Same thing. Yeah, it's a certain amount. They're not gonna go more. Like there's a certain number they reach from at the end of the year, and that's that amount at the end of it, pretty much. And it's like, it's an advantage for first-time home buyers. They could take the money out tax-free and not be penalized and stuff like that. So it's probably that's where your 401k compares to the RRSP.
Same exact thing. The only thing about with the 401k, you can't touch it till 59 and a half without being penalized. So if you touch, like I always tell people, that should be used for retirement, because some people would take that money and buy a house with.
Yeah.
But now that's money, although some people say, well, I'm paying back myself. Yeah, you're paying back yourself, but you're missing out on that compound interest.
Yeah.
Because now you're talking about time. The more time you have, now you got interest upon interest upon interest. But if you take a bunch of that money out, that's money that's not being invested.
Yeah.
So although you're going to pay yourself back, you missed out on all of that time where, in some cases, people are missing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars because they want to take the money to buy a house. Like that's not what a 401k is for retirement. For you to be able to have at the end of the, when you get ready to retire. It's not used. So it's funny but what you said, that's almost the same way that a 401k is working.
Okay.
So if you have that at the job, I always tell people, take advantage of that, because they're going to match you. In some cases from 3 to 6%. So they're going to match whatever you put in. And so that's free money.
Yeah.
It's free money. So I always tell people to take advantage of that.
So pretty much, but if they're using that RRSP, just make sure that's being saved for retirement.
Right.
To like use it to be a first-time home buyer or to take it out for something. Literally just let that money get and let the company continue to match it.
That's right.
It's ready for retirement. What happens though if somebody has, I don't know if it's like within the States, say someone has a 401k, does it travel with them? Or like, for example, say they leave the company they're at and they go to another one. How does that work?
So most companies have a 401k. So you can have that 401k travel with you.
Okay.
Like I remember when I was working at the Home Depot, I had a 401k. I was able to take that and take it somewhere else. It sat around for a while because I didn't have it nowhere.
Yeah.
And once again, because I wasn't educated about it.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I'm gonna go a step forward. Applied knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can have that knowledge, but if you're not applying it,
yeah.
You know, it's still so. It was just sitting around for some time until I started like, man, I got educated about it, and I went to go do something with it. But now you want to, so you can take it wherever you go at. Most companies offer a 401k to keep from having to pay people pensions.
Yeah.
Unless you work there like part-time or something like that. But if it's a full-time job,
most of you,
usually they have a 401k. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Or a 403b, which is like your school teacher, people that work in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That's just another investment. Works almost the same way. But you have a 403b and you have a 401k. But yeah, you want to use those things for strictly retirement.
Perfect. One last question, man. I definitely probably gonna have to hop on another podcast one of these.
Oh man, I appreciate you having me on, my brother.
We could go all night with this, man. You know what I'm saying, man? You know what I'm saying, man?
I remember when you came to the States.
Yeah.
And remember we all was in that room, a bunch of us was in there talking, and man, we had a good time in there that day, man.
It was a good conversation. I remember the brother that from North Carolina, you know, in terms of he was explaining that, you know, man, you know, start small with the house and stuff. And we asked him, how much did you even buy for your house? He said 140,000, and he didn't even pay the whole thing. Where I live, where I am, that's all like that's probably a down deposit. That's a down deposit for certain houses. That's a down deposit. That's like a solid down deposit where I live. You know
right.
You're not even gonna forget house. Let's talk about condos. That's a good down deposit for a condo where I live, pretty much. And so it's very certain areas in Canada. There's certain places, maybe like 6 hours away, a couple hours away. They are cheaper. I'm talking about it's not even comparable. But sometimes it's the economy over there, just what isn't good and stuff like that. But if you could be a successful businessman over there, you'll pay off your house easy. Like people could literally pay off their mortgage on a bi-weekly payment over here. Over here, people like to go the monthly route because the bi-weekly tends to be heavy. And that's why so many people, it's either they have to be like 10 people in the house, or the basements had to be rented out, you know what I'm saying, or the upstairs, you know what I mean? The price over here, it got so much crazy. Like inflation, I have to say there has to be another word. I remember maybe like, you could say 10, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I'd say. You could buy a house, maybe like nice houses, 180, 200. A nice house. Not fully
That's 10
done.
years ago.
I'd say like 20 even. 20 about 20 years ago. 10 years, kind of going up 20, but 20 years ago, I'd say, I'm talking about nice houses, 100, 200, 200,000.
Right.
Now today, those same houses, easily over 600, easily over 800. Some of them probably even a million. Just think about that. From 200 all the way to like
800,000.
180,000, all the way to 600 over. So it's like whoever, that's why, I keep explaining to like, parents of that time, it's not as simple and easy just to go buy a house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because people are stuck between buying a house or going into a condo. But you go into a condo, you have the maintenance fees you have to pay. And paying those maintenance fees, it's like another mortgage.
Yes, it is.
Here's a condo mortgage.
Right.
It could be like $1,100, but maintenance fees $500-600. So it got very tough, and it's getting very tough over here to the point. So a lot of people my generation, some of them are quite wanting to move away where it's cheaper. It's just because where I'm at, I'm saying like Toronto, it's noise. Toronto is loud. We're the defending NBA champions, if you didn't know.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, I heard about Toronto, man. I heard Toronto be getting it in, man.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's just so it's that.
I heard about Toronto.
Even with this, look, even with the pandemic, real estate had to take a punishment for it. There's been like they say a 50% house drop on Toronto housing, but you won't even think there was a big difference. You're gonna ask yourself, well, how much were they if that's the price it's at now? You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right, right.
Like you'll probably find maybe 900 square foot, 1,000, 2,000 square foot, one bedroom, one washroom, one thing, probably like $600,000 to rent
My
wherever in
goodness.
Toronto, right? And so what
Wow.
it forces people to go in terms of some dangerous areas where you gotta look left, you gotta look right, barely any like,
Right.
you know, security there, any cameras there or anything like that. So that's where, you know, of course, you know, these things, when it comes to financial literacy, when it comes to life insurance, when it comes to retirement, this could literally help so many people along the way to not have to suffocate or put your loved ones to suffocate
Right.
on it. I just say, if you don't, if, especially if you have a kid, you plan to have the kid, because that's another thing too. I say what costs with financial literacy. A lot of people, it's unplanned kids. It's these high schoolers. You know what I'm saying? They're not wise.
Right.
The kid comes, and next thing you know, that paycheck, if that guy stays, if he stays,
If
that
he stays.
paycheck, all of it is going to the baby, all of it. And now you have to be backed up by it to the point where you can't even do what needs to be done, right? Because some parents, they don't react to that in a proper manner. Some parents, they say,
No.
"Yo, you gotta get out. You could do that. You're gonna get out." Now you have nowhere to go. They call. You can't even go to your aunt. Can't go to no uncle. Can't go to no cousin. You gotta go to the shelter for a few weeks, but the shelter kicks you out. You know what I'm saying? So these situations keep pushing people back, back, and back. So those of you, I really encourage you to really, don't just watch this and say, "Man, this was a wonderful podcast. Man, this guy's teaching something." He said it. Knowledge is power, but took a step
Knowledge is
further.
power.
Applied knowledge
Knowledge
is
is
power.
power.
You have this knowledge. Now, what are you going to do about it? You're going to sit
What you
down
gonna do with it?
and say, wow. It's like when it comes to truth, my days, what Geno Jennings is preaching, he's giving us the truth. He's teaching us we're not going to just sit there,
Right.
amen, amen, and go right back into what we were in. We're going to start to apply it. But it takes
Gotta
time.
apply it, man. Gotta apply it.
You gotta apply. It takes time. We still gotta apply. One more question, brother Mark, before I let you go.
Not a problem, my brother.
Like, say somebody has $1,000 to invest. What is something they could begin in?
Mutual funds. I
Mutual
go right
funds.
back to the mutual funds because what it gives the average ordinary person an opportunity to invest, to have their money managed by professional money managers.
Yeah.
Because what happens is this: we can't watch over our money 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know, you have to work, you got family time, but when your money is being invested by professional money managers, there's someone that's looking at that money 24 hours a day.
24 hours, yeah.
So they have knowledge and securities and they understand the market. So mutual funds is the greatest investment vehicle that one can use. And depending upon what companies you work for, man, you don't need a lot of money to start, because if me and you was to go to some of these big time investment companies, like, look, man, I got 15,000. They're going to look at you like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not going to want to talk to you because they have to pay their financial advisor.
Yeah.
But with a mutual fund, man, you get people start getting that and you're consistent.
Yeah.
Because, you know, as you make more money, you can contribute more to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You do that thing the right way. That's why I say even children should listen to this. Yeah. Children should be taught financial education early. So I was looking at, I'm not sure if you heard of this woman named Susie Orman.
Susie, no, never heard.
So she's like she's like a financial expert over here in the States.
Okay.
And she was a young lady that stood up who was pregnant. I was watching it Sunday morning before I went to church. And she was talking about how she's like 30 now, but no debt. She got like 8 months of her salary saved up, did all the right investments, did all the right teaching that she applied because she heard this woman teaching about this when she was 15 years old.
Wow.
If she was able to start her life off the right way financially because she had education. Yeah. So what I want people to know on your podcast, don't just look at it for just you. Mm-hmm. Take this knowledge and teach your children so that they can start off, instead of them getting caught up in the same debt, same credit cards, and then it's just like a circle. When they kids are born, same thing, and then they get to 80, because I like to talk to a lot of older people.
Yeah.
And I always ask them, what would you tell yourself, your 20-year-old self? They always look at me, Mark, invest, save your money, get a financial education. These are people that's working at places where they don't want to be at, man. I mean, can you imagine you worked all your life, just to have to work at and again, I'm not against Walmart or any of these places.
Yeah, yeah,
I'd rather you work and make legal money
yeah,
than to be out here acting stupid. So I'm not against these places, but you should work there if you want to say, you know what, I want to buy a new car.
yeah.
Let me go work there and make some extra money, but not you have to work there or you won't eat.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
You're 79 years old and you're telling people, let me check your receipt. Or you walking around asking people, can I help you? All
Yeah,
because you didn't plan.
yeah. That's crazy, brother. That's crazy, man. Man, this podcast had a lot of food. You know what I'm saying? I hope those that you watch got a belly full. Once again, this is brother Mark Marinnie from Jersey. You know what I'm saying? It's a brother from the faith, brother from First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ. As you can see, man, it's very important, especially you men that want to be able to provide and protect your families. Please
Right.
take this podcast, share it out there, dish it out to those who really need it, including yourself. And they get upset. You just keep doing what you have to do to protect
That's
you
right.
and yours. Brother Mark Marinnie, this is thank you very much for even taking the time out your
Thank you
day,
for having me, man. I
time.
appreciate it.
No, I really appreciate you for coming on. I really do. Fryan, just I don't know, did you have anything you wanted to promote in terms for yourself or?
No, I was just gonna ask so how does this podcast, I want to be able to watch it over myself.
Yeah, no. So I will, once it's done, I'll upload it and I'll send you the link. I'm gonna post it on my Facebook and all over and stuff
Wonderful.
like that. So that way you can watch it and everything like that, But pretty much, my friend, the show, all of you tune in if you're looking for a church. First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ, the leader, teacher, and guide is Apostle and Pastor Gino Jennings. Please tune in. Leave the false churches you're in. I'm telling you something but the truth and of the truth, man. There ain't nothing better than that. Ain't nothing close to it.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Also, you know what I'm saying? Je vais jouer.ca. It's a life skills program that is taught through sports. Runs TV. You can follow me on Instagram, Sundin Esperance, Facebook, I Thrive. Oh no, on Instagram it's I Thrive Podcast. I took out my regular Instagram. I Thrive Podcast. Brother Mark Marinnie, his Facebook is Mark Marinnie. If those of you are looking for, if you have any questions, they can feel free to message you.
Oh
Mark Marinnie,
yes. Please
wonderful,
do.
wonderful. You guys have seen it there. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm truly grateful. I truly appreciate you all, brother Mark Marinnie. Thank you very much. I
Thank
really
you for having
appreciate
me,
you,
man. I
brother.
appreciate you, my brother.
You have yourself a wonderful night. May God be with you. Peace be unto you all. This is the I Thrive Podcast. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wonderful.
All right, brother.